Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another online yoga practice. Today I'm excited, we're celebrating Yule, or sometimes known as Winter Solstice, and this is the shortest day of the year. And as this is approaching the deeply festive period, we're going to try to use some inspiration of restoration for this practice. So we're going to be focusing a little bit on digestion with some forward folds, some lovely juicy twists. We're not doing anything too dynamic, we're fully embracing that hibernation, that relaxation element that comes with the shorter days at this time of year. If you wanted to bring along any oils to complement your practice, cinnamon, clove, or orange oils will be fantastic for balancing out those cozy winter energies. And if you wanted to bring along any crystals, apatite, carnelian, and garnet are really good for this time of year to again inspire that little bit of inner warmth. So I really hope you have a nice practice. I hope you're enjoying the festive season. And thank you all so much for joining me as always as you go forward. Wishing you love on your journey. Namaste. Okay everyone, welcome to your Yule or Winter Solstice yoga practice. We're going to be really focusing on those nice postures that really help to alleviate bloating. As we mentioned, that this is a time for responsible indulgence and for relaxation. So there's a tendency to tip the scales a little bit too far in the other direction, where we feel lethargic, heavy, and really sluggish at this time of year, which is completely normal. You're not alone in those feelings, but we're going to do what we can to help alleviate some of that inner tension that can make us feel a bit uncomfortable. So we're going to start today in the seated position. You can just bring your hands to your knees, face down, shoulders away from the ears. Remember, this is still a time for relaxation and introspection. You don't have to do any big elaborate movements or prove yourself in any way today. Today is just a chance to connect to those inner feelings. So just allowing yourself to breathe through the nose. No regulation at first, just noticing how it feels to breathe, where your breath naturally tends to direct its energy. And then I invite you to let the breath travel a little bit deeper, a little bit lower down into the belly. And you may be met with some resistance here, especially if you have been inclined to a little bit of early indulgence and there's a sense of bloating there. Just remember that these feelings, again, they're part of being human. It's completely natural. But just feel into that resistance. Notice where exactly you're feeling that block. And we're going to set today's intention as we continue to breathe in this way. As we celebrate the shortest time of year, we honor the opportunity for relaxation, restoration, hibernation, and introspection. We do what we can to remain balanced during this time. So today's practice is all about balancing the slightly heavier energy that we incline to feel, working with postures that help to relieve digestive uncomfort, discomfort, bloating. And just let yourself breathe in the acceptance for exactly where you are in this moment. And remember, you can take this feeling of peace and acceptance with you off of your yoga mat. As you take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Just gently blinking the eyes open if you had them closed. And we're going to start with some nice spinal chanting. I love this one. I think this one is one that you should include every day, really. It's a little bit of side-to-side movement, and you can work with just isolating more into the spine. Now, I strongly encourage that if you can work a little bit lower down into the belly, that's going to feel really good. So really opening the belly as you come forwards and then closing, contracting the belly as we come back. If you were going in one direction, just switch. Maybe tracing the base of your pelvis. And this just begins to bring a bit of awareness to how you're feeling through the digestive tract, how you're feeling through the abdominals. Often these areas become quite closed and stuck together when we do a lot of sitting, relaxing, eating, all of those wonderful things. And then when you're ready, just bring yourself back to a neutral position through the spine. Nice tall breath in, shoulders away from the ears, and exhaling fully. We're going to come into half Lord of the Fishes, so I'm going to turn so you can see exactly what I'm doing. You're going to bend the right knee and then bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Now, if you're pretty open through the hips, you can also lean to the left so that when you bend your left knee, your left heel comes to the outside of the right sit bone. But it's really important here that you want your right sit bone to be grounded. Otherwise, just keep your left leg extended. From here, maybe taking the crook of the left elbow around the right shin with the option to reach the right fingertips back behind you, or eventually maybe we thread the arms through. But remember, this is not a practice about depth. This is a practice about feeling into the resistance that may already be there. As we twist, you may notice again a touch more resistance through the belly. It may feel a little bit more challenging to breathe. I invite you in this practice to explore all ranges of breath. So not just breathing into the chest, not just breathing into the low belly, but breathing into both and finding which is more resonant with you today. As we inhale, just gently bring yourself back through center, and we're going to take a quick counter twist. So just looking out over your left shoulder. Inhale, bringing yourself back through center. If you had your left leg extended, lean to the left so you can extend, bring your right knee in and release. And we'll do that on the other side. So bending the left knee, sole of the left foot to the outside of the right thigh, and you can just work with the single leg. Or lean to the right, so that right heel comes to the outside of the right sit bone, and the left sit bone. And you want your left sit bone to be grounded, so you're not leaning to the side. Once you feel your support here, take the crook of the right elbow around the left shin, left fingertips behind you. If you did on the other side, you can bind, you can thread your arms through. But for me, that's a little bit intense today. Being kind to yourself. We often feel the need to challenge ourselves or beat ourselves up, especially at this time of year when we feel less inclined to do anything too high energy. We feel more inclined to sit on the sofa, eat, watch Netflix. We feel less inclined to spend time with those in our outer circles and more time with those in our inner circles. Just know this is part of the transition of the seasons. It's completely natural. And sometimes we just need a little bit of help to balance that energy out. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, little counter twist. Oh, I love that one. Looking out over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center. Lean to the right so you can extend your right leg if it was bent. And then hug your left knee in and extend your left leg. So we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So just extending your legs out. Now, the purpose of this forward fold is more about the stimulation of the digestive tract than it is about the hamstring mobility. However, it's going to be a nice hamstring stretch as well. But what I'm going to recommend today is that you bend your knees a generous amount, take a hold of either the outsides of the feet or peace fingers towards the big toes. And what you want here is your belly to be making contact with your thighs. And you don't want to lose this contact or you lose the benefit of the digestive stimulation. So you're going to begin to either walk your feet forward or walk your sit bones back until the point where you feel your belly peeling off the thighs. So that may be just a few inches forwards. You may even want to place a pillow or a block underneath the backs of your knees. Eventually, maybe we work the legs a little bit more towards straight, but we keep the shoulders away from the ears. We keep the chin and the chest lifted towards the toes. And if there's space, I invite you to direct your breath down into the low belly today, feeling that massage of the internal organs. And for our last couple of breaths, maybe softening your neck a little bit more. Take another breath in. Exhale fully. And then with a soft bend through the knees, you can just roll up the spine. And when you get to the top, take a nice deep breath in. If it feels good, take a little lift. And exhale fully. We're going to make our way to a tabletop position, so you can just roll over the shins or roll to the side. Wrists under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and we're going to take some cat-cows. So as we inhale, we open up through cow pose, lifting the crown of the head up, bringing the chest forward as the belly drops down, the tailbone reaches up. And as we exhale, I invite you to engage through your abdominals. As you lift your belly in, bring your chin in towards your chest as the crown of the head relaxes down. And then keep flowing at your own pace, really stretching, expanding the muscles around the low belly, and then really compacting, contracting them. Okay, so this is, again, it's going to wake up your digestive system. Really good if it's been slightly overused, in the nicest way possible. A little bit overused at this time of year. Suffers from bloating. And maybe not, maybe it doesn't suffer from bloating. Maybe you're feeling fantastic through the belly. This is still going to be great as a preemptive strike if you are planning on having an indulgent festive period. One more round of each. Exhale fully. Inhale, bring yourself back to neutral, and we're going to come into melting heart pose. So just making sure you've got plenty of space in front of you. Keep your hips stacked over your knees, toes can be tucked or feet can be flat. As you begin to walk your hands forwards. So bringing your forehead, your chin, or even your chest down towards the floor or towards the block, if you have a block. Really let your heart melt down. And we're expanding all the muscles that surround the low belly here, as well as getting a beautiful stretch through the shoulders, which can sometimes become quite tight again if we spend a lot of time sitting. It feels a little bit weird here, but I invite you to maybe sample how it feels to breathe into your belly. And then if you've got any lower back or shoulder injuries, you're going to come through tabletop first. Otherwise, you can just kind of slide through into a Sphinx position. Elbows under your shoulders or elbows slightly forwards, forearms parallel. And just bring the shoulders away from the ears. So instead of letting the chest collapse down, imagine you're trying to lift your rib cage as high as you can, keeping your lower body soft, your legs, your glutes. You can even just rock them from side to side a little bit. And I want you to breathe into the belly here again. So maybe you just feel a touch of connection between your belly and the yoga mat. As you breathe a little bit deeper, this compression may build. Now you're welcome to continue to do this position from this breath work if it already feels quite intense for you. If you wanted to add on, bear in mind if you have got heavy bloating, this might be a bit too much. You can release down, give yourself a little rest if needed. Otherwise, bring your forehead or your chin towards the yoga mat. Take a hold of the outsides of the feet, the outsides of the ankles for bow pose. This can also be done with the arms alongside the body, not reaching for the ankles. This is a little bit stronger. Your choice. And then as we inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, just like we're lifting into cobra. And then engage through the glutes to lift those legs. Keep lifting the gaze, breathing into the belly. And again, you may feel a lot of resistance here. Keep your forehead slightly soft. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Create a little pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead. Rock those hips. Bring your palms under your shoulders, lift up and press back to embryo pose. So for this one, you want your knees touching, arms alongside the body, like you're creating a little ball, a little Christmas bauble, if you'd like. And again, allowing your breath to travel low into the belly, so the belly is pushing against the surface of the thighs. You can always relax your forehead to a block if needed. And then from here, just bring your hands forward, come to tabletop position, and we're gonna come into a garland pose. So you just widen your knees, bring your feet to mat distance apart, and walk your hands back so you can kind of come into this little froggy squat. If you'd like a little bit of support for this posture, you can place a block underneath your sit bones, or you can roll up your yoga mat so your heels can rest on your yoga mat. Eventually working those heels to touch the floor, thumbs together at the center of the heart. Now this is the posture I recommend if your digestion is feeling a little bit sluggish. is really going to help you with moving everything along. You can even find a little bit of side to side movement if that feels nice, or you can even twist one side to the other, and that will stimulate slightly deeper digestion. But otherwise, you're welcome to just hold in stillness, using the elbows to just gently press those thighs open. Experience both methods of breathing again, chest breathing, belly breathing, and find which resonates better with your body in this posture. Take another inhale. As we exhale, we're going to sit the hips down, so you may need to use your hands to support you there, and we're going to lift the legs up into boat. So we won't be here forever, don't worry. Hands to the backs of the thighs or arms alongside the body. If anyone's feeling super strong today, you can extend your legs. But keep the belly hugged in towards the spine, shoulders away from the ears. This is going to tone and strengthen your abdominals, as well as, again, stimulating that massage of the digestive tract. Take another breath in. As we exhale, option to roll down through low boat, lower back presses into the earth, and then release down. Take a breath in. Exhale fully. Hug both knees into the chest. It wouldn't be a digestive-based practice without a little wind-relieving pose. So just hug your knees in, breathing deep into the low belly, feeling that pressure building as you hug the thighs in a little bit closer. You may even feel the soft tissues of your waist and your lower back beginning to gently stretch. And remember that Yule, Winter Solstice, is a time of celebration, introspection. It is a time to honor yourself. Remembering that this is the time of year to be a little bit selfish. And just hold here for another breath in. Exhale fully. And then when you're ready, extending your legs long, bringing your feet out to the front corners of your mat, releasing your arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Allowing your entire body to relax, to rest. This is the most important part of the practice. This is the part where the body begins to process all of the wonderful work you've done. It begins to heal. And as the parasympathetic nervous system is activated, the digestion part of our nervous system begins to take hold. So really good, taking time to relax. I invite you to stay resting here, maybe even taking the time for a full Winter Solstice Yuletide meditation if you have the time, honoring the year that has previously passed, or maybe even taking time to set up some intentions for the next year if it's a good time for you. Whatever you do, however you're spending this time, this festive period, I really hope you enjoy it and get some time for yourself, some quality one-on-one time. Thank you all so much for joining me. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, however you're celebrating. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.